All right, let's see what we got here. Welcome to another Purge of the BS, the morning edition. We're going to get into some things today. I hope you came in off the shorts feed. If you did, make sure that you give me a like. Top right corner, top left corner, hit them three dots, right? Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you get in the chat. Make sure we have a conversation. We got some BS to purge. So let's see what we got here. Hey. Oh, I'm getting them thumbs up to the chat right now, which means we are ready to roll. All right, well, guys, thank you for coming in and stopping by another Purge of the BS. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you jump on in here. Make sure you're ready to have a conversation. All right. Now, look, we don't do no goofiness over here. We're here to have a chat because I don't have time to be wasting with no craziness, right? So make sure you subscribe first. Give us a couple minutes of your time to get the context of what we're talking about, and then you jump on in the chat and have the conversation with us. Now, I know a lot of people are going to miss that disclaimer, so I may have to say it again. But thank you very much. Nice Ass Podcast is in the chat. I see Zora is already in the chat giving me the thumbs up. That means the audio's good, the music is good, and we are ready to roll. So, as we do here on Purge the BS, I must give the disclaimer.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of another Purge of the BS, sanctioned by the First Amendment. Frustration levels 0 to 100 have been authorized for use during this purge. All weapons are restricted. Government officials have not been granted immunity from the Purge of the BS and shall undoubtedly receive the smoke. Commencing at the sound of the gong, any and all BS, especially unnecessary goofiness, will be purged without prejudice. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be available, but they will be busy because they will be watching the Purge of the BS. Blessed be those who have already been victims of some BS. May God be with you all.
Welcome once again to Purge of the BS. If you're just getting here, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe. We are about to get right on into it. Now, granted, topic today is a situation that actually came up on the podcast last night as we were getting ready to close out. There was a story kind of developing about Elon Musk and a situation going on in the political scene over in Britain, right? I'm going to get to that. But before I get to that, because it's so early into the new year, right? And we just came out of a holiday season. I need to cover something that I do not want to continue in 2025, because there was a situation that came to me across the timeline regarding a gentleman, right, who apparently did not get a PS5 for Christmas from his lady, girlfriend, I don't know, baby mama. I'm not 100% sure on that part, but he decides to start breaking up the kids' toys because he didn't get his toys. And I just wanted y'all to take a look at this, plant it into your brain there for a second, and make sure that we don't have this kind of goofiness going on in 2025. We're putting that behind us, moving forward, okay? Unburdened by the past and whatever that was that she was saying. You know what I'm saying? So y'all just check this out. Just check it out.
I don't care, bro. I don't care, bro.
I couldn't afford a PS5. Okay, stop for real. I couldn't
You're
afford
watching
no PS5.
Rap House TV.
I'm talking to you.
Oh yeah, shouts to Rap House TV for this clip.
Yes, you told me you was gonna give me a PS5, bro. You never told me that, bro.
Bro, you are damn near 30 years old. You talking about somebody that has a PS5.
Your word is your bond. Start keeping your word, but you can't give me a PS5 because why? You spent all this money on your son.
When did you get my son?
Your son.
When did you get my son?
I didn't get your son nothing. That's not my son.
You're watching Rap House
If
TV.
you're not my son at the end of the day, so why should I be buying you a
Don't spend nothing on your
PS5?
son if you're not gonna get my PS5 like you told me last year. Huh?
Alright, you know what?
Huh?
Don't even worry about it,
Huh?
G, because I ain't gonna lie. All
I
this
know,
shit
right?
that you doing is petty.
I know, right? Now I'm petty. Now I'm petty because I'm.
I would say he is
The
petty.
whole world finna see how you
Now I'm
act.
petty because I'm breaking
Your
the
ass
toys.
almost 30 years old.
Now I'm petty because I'm breaking the toys, bro. Like, where's my PS5 at? PS5 you still got time to go get it. It's still Christmas.
Okay, and all the stores are closed, so I
Man,
can't
you better
go
get on
anything.
Facebook and make something happen. Stop playing Facebook Marketplace or something.
I might have to run it back because people just got into the live, and I'm about to have some commentary on this video, and I want to make sure that everybody has context because that's big on YouTube when it comes to how they push out the content. Now, I'm going to reset here. A gentleman apparently was promised a PS5 by his lady. She bought a bunch of stuff for him and the kids, but did not buy a PS5. And his decision was to do what he's doing, which is walk around the house, breaking up the kids'
I couldn't
toys.
afford a PS5. Okay, stop for real. I couldn't
You're
afford
watching
no PS5.
Rap House TV.
I'm talking to you. You
Grown men, 2025, I swear to God, if we catch you doing this,
PS5, bro. You never told me that, bro.
Bro, you
I'm through with it. I thought it was staged at first though, but no, this is real.
Your bond. Start keeping your word, but you can't give me a PS5 because why? You spent all this money on your son.
He looked real threatening with that plastic
Where
bat.
did you get my son?
I ain't get your son nothing. That's not my son.
You're
He ain't
watching
get
Rap
the
House
the child
TV.
nothing, but mad that she got something.
Should I be buying you a
Don't spend nothing on your
PS5?
son if you're not gonna get my PS5 like you told me last year. Huh?
Alright, you know what? Don't even worry about it. I ain't gonna lie. All this shit that you doing is fake.
Now I'm petty because I'm
Yes,
breaking the toys.
exactly.
The whole world finna see how you act.
Well, maybe not the whole world, but at least everybody that's watching my podcast.
I'm breaking the toys, bro. Like, where's my PS5 at? You still got time to go get it. It's still Christmas.
Okay, and all the stores are closed, so I
Man, you
can't
better
go
get on
anything.
Facebook and make something happen. Facebook Marketplace or something.
So, folks, before I really dig into this situation, like I said, this is just one of these things that I know is happening, and I got to make sure that we don't take this goofiness into this year because I don't have the patience for it, and I've been very patient with a lot of goofiness. Like I come on here, it's like therapy. I get a lot off of my chest and talk to you guys on the internet, but I have definitely been very tolerant of some real goofy stuff for the last couple years. You know what I'm saying? If you want to say my whole life, if you want to be honest, I have allowed some things to go on, but I'm going to tell you right now, grown men not getting game systems and throwing tantrums is no longer without consequence. Purge the BS will find you. Okay? And then you will be dealt with accordingly. Whatever that means, you'll never know unless you find out. Okay? So, I'm just trying to make sure that we get into the habit of holding grown-ass men accountable for being grown-ass men. There are certain situations where you can be emotional about stuff. You might be let down because your girl didn't buy you a particular gift and all that kind of stuff. All right, that happens. Disappointment happens. Sometimes you don't get your damn way. Okay? But guess what that's called? That's called life. That's where we live. We live in a situation where sometimes you don't get your damn way. And I'm realizing that in order to kind of stop this going forward, we have to address the problem at the root. You can't get a 30-year-old man to really switch up that quick, right? So we have to deal with how the hell he got like that. And that's what we got to start digging into. How did he think that he was so entitled that he could not buy her kids nothing, but she got to buy him something that costs $800? The level of delusion that takes when he's running around with some SpongeBob SquarePants pajamas on. The level of delusion that it takes to really think that you run in that house when you can't even buy the kids in the house nothing, and you want somebody in the house to buy you basically the most expensive gift in the house, and you a grown-ass man. Grown-ass man. 30 years old ain't no kid. I didn't, that's crazy. I didn't know he was 30. Initially, when I saw the clip, I thought it was just a mad child, because that's how he's acting. But no, that's a grown man that has no home training. And honestly, probably doesn't deserve the woman that filmed that. I don't know what her situation is and why she's keeping a dude like that around. But, ma'am, if you see this, I hope you don't have him around your kids and stuff no more. Because he's just a bad example. And what he's going to do is lay that example on your kids, and then your kids are going to be the same way when they grow up. So it's just creating and regurgitating a bunch of bullshit. That's why. So I'm Purge the bullshit. Okay? So even though it may have been promised to him over the time previous, like he might have not been able to get one the year before, and she might have told him, yeah, I'll get it for you next year. Okay. Still doesn't mean that she got to do shit. And it also doesn't mean that if he doesn't get that he gets to act like a big ass baby. So sometimes you don't get what you want to get, and you can't act like a big ass baby just because you don't get it. We got shit to do out here. Okay. So we need to start there. We're going to start with that. Like I said, on this particular podcast, I want to try to address root problems, root issues that lead to this type of dude. Like, where did he come from? Who raised you? Like that kind of shit, right? We got to start there. So, another interesting story about people not getting their way also hit the timeline late yesterday. I'm not sure if you guys know who Skip Bayless is. You guys know who Skip Bayless is? Let me bring him over here for you. Hold on, let me bring him over. All right, so Skip Bayless is from that show that Fox, let's say it was Fox Sports, had a whole show about, well, basically him and Shannon Sharpe arguing. And the reason why I was hesitating on saying Shannon Sharpe's name is because I feel like this might be, in a way, a plot employed to come after Shannon next. I smell that, and I'm gonna get into that in a second. But I like Shannon Sharpe, and I really appreciate what he's done for podcasting and what he's doing over here on YouTube. And I would hate for him to get brought down in some goofy stuff. But honestly, that's kind of what's been going on for the last couple of years in celebrity world. So we may not be able to stop it. I don't know what the full motive behind it is. It does have some really sticky places in it. I'm sorry. It's got some sticky places in the story, okay? There's definitely some sticky places in the story. But I'm telling you right now, I feel like they're going to come for Shannon, and they had to find their way in through whatever beef was going on that he and Skip Bayless had a while ago. And so I'm going to get into this. Basically, this lady over here on the left, I guess that's the left on y'all's side, her name is Miss Faraji. Miss Faraji's a hair stylist, and at some point apparently was Skip Bayless's hairstylist. And she has basically said that he offered her money for sexual favors. But there was a lot more to the story, and I'm going to get into the actual document. But it starts to paint a picture of a very dirty workplace over at Fox Sports. And I think it's going to probably open up, if this all turns out to be true, because, stuff be coming up, and sometimes people just want a payday, So I'm going to go over the story real quick. Then we'll get to the document. Okay. Then we're going to get to Elon. All right. So those of y'all that are just getting there, I got to cover this other piece first, because it's very important that we talk about it before they come for Shannon. And if they do, I really don't want to see him go down in the, some BS legal goofiness that does happen when you get to the top of things. That's always sad. And you never know what's true and what's not sometimes. Like somebody saying something and you want to believe everybody, and then you don't want to believe people, and then it's like, you never know. So anyway, so Skip Bayless has been accused, along with Joy Taylor, who Joy Taylor was on our episode a year ago as one of our baddies in the Bright Light. So I guess that didn't age as well as it should have. But she's basically assessing that they created like a toxic environment. It's a long lawsuit, but I'll get to the meat of it real quick. So she's saying she was forced to endure misogynistic, racist, and ableist workplace where executives and talent were allowed to physically and verbally abuse workers with impunity. So if you hear what that phrase alone does not say Skip Bayless by himself. You understand what I'm saying? Skip Bayless is indicated. Skip Bayless's name is going to come up in this thing that we're starting, but she immediately, the whole thing is about the environment. So there's a lot of people that work there, including Shannon Sharpe. We're going to get into that. So it says that when Ms. Faraji and others came forward to do the report on the wrongdoing, instead of addressing the concerns, Fox retaliated against them, while the perpetrators and those who protected them were inexplicitly promoted. So you hear the vast swath that's just been placed over the amount of people that she's talking about here. So Skip Bayless is indicated, Joy Taylor is indicated, but I think there's a much larger group that she's trying to reference, and that's where I worry about Shannon Sharpe. Because him and Skip were real close for years, and that was during the time of that show. And I would be kind of weird to think that Shannon might not have known or seen something that maybe he didn't report, or I don't want to assume anything. I'm just saying it's real close. You see what I'm saying? Like that's real close for this to be the environment and Shannon to not somehow be dragged into this lawsuit. So let me continue. And make sure you're hitting the like button. Thank y'all for coming in. I know it's a little late on my normal morning show, so we got a few less folks, but we got enough folks to let the algorithm know that we're here. Make sure you're hitting those reactions. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you jump in the chat, okay? We're going to continue this story here. So this is Ms. Faraji, and she basically is alleging that the executive, Charlie Dixon, used his influence to promote Joy Taylor, which is like the first part of the lawsuit. And she's basically saying that Joy Taylor was sleeping with this dude and he was promoting her because of that, which makes it an uncomfortable workplace. So she wasn't saying that there was some unconsensual thing going on between Joy Taylor and this Mr. Dixon guy, but just that was how Joy Taylor got to where she went to. And a lot of people have said that over the years. Like, I forgot what she was doing before she was on Fox Sports 1, but it wasn't sports. And so they figured she might have slept her way to the top. And this kind of goes along with that. So whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not mad, but that's not against the law, so to speak. So the lawsuit claims that Joy Taylor became hostile towards Faraji after they ended their friendship in 2021, after she mocked her Persian heritage, called her a Persian bee, and her humming, which was a PTSD coping mechanism. Now, I don't know if you guys have been around a person that just be randomly humming and singing. It can get annoying. So depending on what she said in reference to that's not against the law either. So, okay, let's keep going. So Faraji's a single mother. Why did they have to identify that? Also alleges harassment from other high-profile figures, including Skip Bayless, who she said made advances towards her, such as lingering hugs after each haircut, putting his body against her own, pressing against her breast. Okay. Now, I'm no hug expert, guys, but if I hug a female, and unless I do the back, like when you lean back type hug, unless you do that, there's going to be a pressing of the upper body to the other person's body. I think that's a little bit of a stretch, but okay. Let's see what else we got. So she alleges that Skip Bayless offered her $1.5 million to have sex with him. She said she would try to deflect by pointing out cameras and potential cancer diagnosis in her left ovary, but her objections weren't respected. Okay. Bayless made another advance. She said, Skip, stop. You have a wife. Aren't you a Muslim? He said to her, doesn't your dad have 3 or 4 wives? That's cold. She responded, her father is dead, and, whatever. Okay. All right. Let's see here. All right. So what happens here is after Undisputed was canceled in August 2024 and Skip Bayless left Fox, Faraji, the lady who's suing, was allegedly unemployed and told that her services were no longer needed. So after the investigation, they said that they could only afford to have one hairdresser, and she thinks that was retaliation. Okay. Well, at this point, they had already lost Skip and Shannon, so I don't know. Their money might not have been as good as it was. So at this point, she seeks justice. The suit continues to say that she, Mr. Dixon used his position of power to coerce women into having sex with him. Man, this story sounds familiar. And he didn't immediately fire her, but basically, after Joy Taylor and Faraji had a falling out, only to appease Mr. Bayless by providing him with a plaything. Okay. Despite Miss Faraji being an excellent hairdresser, I don't know, man. This is an interesting one. Despite Miss Faraji being an excellent hairdresser and continuously being requested by talent, she was shrunken down to how much she could appease Mr. Bayless, and once Mr. Bayless was gone, so was her job. So she's been unemployed since Skip Bayless left Fox. And I think she sounds upset about that. I would be too. I mean, if you haven't had a job in a couple of years, but is that the reason for the suit? Because she hasn't got work since? I don't know. I'm just saying it smells a little bit. Just a little bit. It stinks a little bit. So Fox says, they take these allegations seriously, and they're going to do a pending litigation and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to bring the document up because I had to read through the complaint because I'm like, you know what? Before I make any assumptions to anything here, I'm going to at least read some of the details. But I will say the fact that people got fired and then they didn't have a job after this other person left, all of that normally paints a picture of I'm trying to get a payday because things have been rough since the show ended or whatever. That's what it looks like. And I hate to say that because I don't know. But I will say this. Timing is everything. There's a reason why they have like a statute of limitations for certain stuff and all that. Timing is important. When you wait on things like this, it almost dilutes it a little bit. I don't know. So we're going to go over the document. I'm going to breeze through it, but I'll get to the part about the actual allegations here. Give me a second. Let me get the situation going. Hold on. All right, so here we go. So this is the official document of the complaint. Now, it starts with a bunch of stuff about Joy Taylor, which after I read that, I'm like, well, none of that's really illegal, but it's just exposing Joy Taylor sleeping her way to the top. So that was really just some petty stuff, in my opinion. When I looked at it, it was like, it didn't really have much to do with her. And we'll get to the point where she's making the actual allegations about the things that happened to her. So in this section, she alleges that the CEO, executive or whatever of Fox groped her at a birthday party. And she was standing at the bar. He got a drink. He placed his arm on her lower back, asked how she was doing. So he didn't put it on her booty per se, but just the lower back. Asked her if she wanted a shot. Miss Faraji felt very uncomfortable by his unsolicited touching and responded, "No, thank you." Okay, so now he starts grabbing her butt. And then Miss Faraji was mortified, but quickly faked an incoming call to escape the situation. So basically, this guy grabbed her ass, according to her. So she was going to turn to Joy Taylor, but she was afraid that Joy Taylor wasn't going to be on her side because Joy Taylor was sleeping with the same person who she just had her booty grabbed by. Now, just being honest, outside of the realm, if your homegirl is messing with a dude and your homegirl's messing with the dude and the dude's grabbing you on the ass, ladies, go tell your homegirl about that, okay? Just putting that out there. I'm no expert of any of this. I'm just saying, if your homegirl's messing with a dude, she's messing with him, and she know that you know that they messing with each other, and that person grabs you on the booty, feel free, go tell her. So, unfortunately, Joy Taylor told her to get over it, or at least that's what the complaint alleges. I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't part of the recording. And she told her to get over it and explained that she herself only had her job because of Mr. Dixon, and that Miss Faraji only had her job because Miss Taylor requested her. So basically saying, get over it. This is how it is here at Fox. So she's terrorized, turns to her coworker, and the coworker says, basically, keep it quiet if you want to keep your job. And they throw in the single mother thing again. As a single mother who needed the job to support her son, like, why can't you just be an adult that needs your job? Like, why the single mama thing always get? It's like a card. It's kind of like the race card. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's bad, but when you throw that in there, oh, don't do that. Either way, if this happened, you know, whether she was a single mother or not, she was wronged. So, you know, I know they're going for, what do they call it? Oppression points, oppression Olympics points. But anyway, let's continue. So they told her to be quiet, and she went to, let me see what else. Oh, so then 7 years later, so this happened oh so many years ago, and then 7 years later, her, I guess the lady who was her boss told her that she didn't like her and didn't like anything about Undisputed, and had scheduled somebody for hair on Undisputed, and told her that she must put Faraji on Undisputed full time. So she said, I didn't like that. All right, and this is fat. This is more about people just feeling like they can do whatever they want to get to a certain job. So I get that part. So Mr. Dixon gets rid of a female talent member for refusing to have sex with him. Sounds like hearsay. Let's go ahead and skip through that. Mr. Bayless begins to give Miss Faraji lingering hugs and kisses on the cheek while putting his body against hers and pressing against. You read the rest. You got it. So she says right here. So this is very important. This first line right here. After the reporting by the talk show host fell on deaf ears. So that means she went to HR, right? Mr. Bayless began requesting that Miss Faraji give him a haircut once a week in the makeup room, and she did so as her boss required. Okay? Initially, everything was cool. Then he started to kiss her on the cheeks, and she would say stuff like, I need to pick my son up from school to get out of it. He told her that she had a nice rack. Now, I'm paraphrasing here. I'm just, you know. Now, hold on, man. Like I said, this don't smell right. So he told her that she was voluptuous, right? And she said, as English is her second language and she was not familiar with the word, Miss Faraji asked what that meant, and Mr. Bayless told her to figure it out. Okay, so she would easily just Google it or ask somebody. Then Bayless started becoming more aggressive. Okay, all right. So they were around each other a lot in the makeup room. She was cutting his hair. He thought she was sexy, so to speak, voluptuous. He started to try to make some advances, and she did not want those advances. So apparently she went and tried to report it. They decided that she needed to be quiet. And then they make this reference to her single motherhood thing again, saying Faraji needed to be kind towards Mr. Bayless or risk her job. A single mother who relied on her job to support her son. So I don't know about that thing. They keep throwing that in there, but okay. All right. So apparently she hurt her back at work, couldn't move. How'd you hurt your back doing haircuts? They said she hurt her back at work. Isn't it her job haircuts and styling? I don't know. Stuff like that just jumps out at me. Because I'll be like, well, how'd you hurt yourself? How'd you hurt your back? Was somebody blowing your back out? Like, I don't know. I'm just asking, how'd you hurt your back? These are the questions. These are the questions. Okay. So she heard it back. She returned from leave. She had her hours cut. She was upset about that. And she said that she was entitled to her pre-leave schedule. And an individual from HR said that she'd heard that the woman didn't want the schedule back. Okay, all right, we'll go with that. All right, Faraji remains on undisputed and is asked to join the herd. And she joined the herd. Okay, it sounds like she was. I don't know. So far, it's kind of foggy. Then Mr. Diaz racially and sexually harasses Miss Faraji. I'm going to have to see more evidence on this stuff. A lot of it is very foggy. You know, somebody said, or I felt like this way. Now, if somebody grabs your booty, you should definitely say something. If you go to HR and HR don't do nothing, you definitely should go a little higher. I don't think you should wait 7 years and all that kind of stuff. But that's what I'm saying with the whole timing thing. I understand that she's a single mother and she needs her job, but if she's really, really good at hairstyling, she could have had her resume floating around. You know what I'm saying? If she was like, yo, you guys see how Skip Bayless's hair don't move? That's me. And she could have floated her stuff around and probably just got another job. That's just my opinion. This is opinion only, okay? I don't know what happened. I'm just saying, if you're really good at what you do and your job as a hairstylist and you're already known for doing Skip Bayless's hair that does not move, then you could probably put that on your resume along with a picture of Skip Bayless's hair and somebody will hire you for a job. So she talks about Joy Taylor again. She talks about Mr. Diaz, who was supplying cocaine to numerous Fox employees and talent, even after an incident where he removed his pants on live camera. So Mr. Diaz apparently was into some goofy shit and was getting everybody coked up and stripping down to his pants. Now, this sounds like something that could be corroborated if it's an on-camera thing. So this might be a thing. This isn't as foggy. So, okay. So what did she... So she sent notice of the lawsuit. Mr. Diaz made a mockery of his discussions with human resources. Said that Miss Faraji was stupid. That's not necessarily against the law. Then here comes the Joy Taylor thing. Miss Taylor again uses her sexuality to get on the show. And she brings in Emmanuel Echo, which is another one of the executives. So she's putting Fox on blast more so than anybody else. And definitely Joy Taylor for sleeping her way to the top. But we all know that legally sleeping your way to the top isn't necessarily against the law. Now, there might be some things that change, like with the officer in New York when he was hooking the lady up with overtime that she didn't earn or something like that. And so there's some liability there. Okay, I'll give him that. But this one, I don't know. So far, I'm not all the way in. Right now, it just seems like more of about Joy Taylor being able to do this stuff and kind of get away with it, and this lady sort of being in the background, getting her booty grabbed by the same people that were messing with Joy Taylor. So anyway, she goes through to say that initially she didn't know that who Emmanuel Echo was, but let's see. Hold on, let me keep reading. I'm sorry. So she's saying that she told Joy Taylor to not sleep with both of the guys at the same time. All right, let me keep going. Ms. Faraji is targeted because of her ethnicity. So I'm just giving y'all a second here because so far the only thing I see that could probably be a thing was the guy supplying people with cocaine and stripping butt naked on camera. So that sounds like more people than her would have seen that, and that sounds like something that could happen. So we've got an informal dinner with Jane Doe and Joy Taylor. Well, not Joy Taylor. And somebody called Faraji a Persian bee. All right, well, that's not against the law. All right, so we're going past the dinner. Somebody didn't like it. I'm sorry, I'm paraphrasing here, but I'm trying to get to like things that are chargeable offenses that, like, you know, you can really prove something. This is all hearsay unless they have somebody who was actually at this event, you know, and heard somebody call somebody a Persian bee. But that in and of itself is not a crime or liable for anything, especially if they were at an informal dinner. It's not a work event. Sorry I'm spending so much time on this, but I got to go through it. All right, so Miss Faraji believes she has cancer, conveys this to Mr. Bayless. He offers her $1.5 million to have sex. So basically, he offered to pay for her cancer treatment if she gave him some box. Let's see what we got here. So he made advances, told her he could change her life, blah, blah, blah. Hold on. Now, right here, hold on. So she told Mr. Bayless about the situation, thinking he would take pity on her and cease his advances. Instead, Mr. Bayless told her that he wanted to be with her. Okay. Miss Faraji panicked and began rambling that there were cameras everywhere. Okay. So that means some cameras captured this? Maybe. Okay. Cameras everywhere. That she has a child. Here we go with the kid again. And that she does not want him. Mr. Bayless then grabbed her hands and began kissing them and offered her $1.5 million to have sex. Miss Faraji made an excuse to leave. This sounds like one of those like romantic novels or whatever, right? He made another advance a week later. She told him, Skip, stop, you have a wife. He said the thing about her being Muslim. And doesn't her father have a few wives? And then she says her job is threatened. Mr. Bayless texted Miss Faraji, I'm good today, meaning he didn't want her haircut no more. He didn't want her haircuts no more. He said he's not comfortable around her. And so she went to see him because he didn't want to come get some haircut from her. And then he accuses her of having sex with Shannon Sharpe. So right here is where I start to get to some fogginess. Okay? Why are you bringing up Shannon Sharpe at all? When up until now, there was no mention of Shannon Sharpe in being involved in anything at all. So why would he think you're sleeping with Shannon Sharpe? Did he see you around Shannon Sharpe? Was you hanging with Shannon Sharpe? Were you having meals with Shannon Sharpe? Like, why is this going to now lead to, well, what was she doing around Shannon Sharpe that he would even think whatever he's thinking? Or did that actually happen? Did she have sex with Shannon Sharpe? I don't know. I'm just saying, when you know somebody comes into a room and the day before y'all was cool, and now today they're accusing you of sleeping with a particular person, it's normally because they've seen or heard some information that made them think that. I'm just saying. I wasn't there, but that's how a lot of those things play out. So, let me see. He wanted her to come to the car. So the only thing they have in the text is the I'm good, and that he's not comfortable coming down there. Same stuff, even worse. If you're distracted, I'll wait until Monday, but I can't keep doing this. All right, so far I'm not seeing it, but I do see that they tried to slide into Shannon over here real quick, didn't they? They did definitely throw a little something at Shannon Sharpe. And Miss Faraji then explained over text that she is not sleeping with Mr. Sharpe. Mr. Bayless did not respond. Okay, so let me pause that for just a moment just to let you know. If she did sleep with Shannon Sharpe, that's not illegal. So that's also, all right, whatever. So he accused you of sleeping with Shannon Sharpe. So it's not necessarily illegal for him to accuse you of sleeping with Shannon Sharpe. So far, he said that she's distracted. Trust me, I'm confused. So I'm looking at everything that's in quotes because that's what they'll be able to actually submit in court. Do you still want the haircut or just move on? Or still want to do the haircut or just move on the next day? And she says she doesn't want to move on and that she'll continue to do his hair. Then she says that she was scared. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's pretty long. I'm about to stop. I'm trying to get to some, Here we go with the Shannon Sharp shit again. Hold on a second. Let me back this up. What is this? Why do they keep mentioning Shannon Sharp? Well, we all know Skip Bayless was a little jealous of Shannon Sharp. We all know that. So I guess maybe he thought Shannon Sharp was knocking it down and he was jealous, thinking that he couldn't hit it because Shannon Sharp was doing so. Which, if your boy's knocking her off, why do you want her anyway? You know what I'm saying? Just back off, Mr. Skip Bayless. Come on, Skip. Skip. Come on, Skip. Come on, Skip. So, let me continue. He heard her talk, or he's saying that he heard her talk to Mr. Sharp about her vagina. Okay. And that she could tell from her, or he could tell from her body language that she was getting knocked down by the Sharpster. She was getting clubbed by the Shay Shay, if that makes sense. So there's some jealousy here, or at least that's what she's saying, about the possibility that Shannon Sharp knocked it down. Okay. All right, Bayless came to the room for his haircut. Right here, Mr. Bayless knew that the makeup room was always recorded and clearly states this room is bugged. Okay, so that means that whatever she's talking about, they should have recordings of that because they were in that room all the time doing all that. And basically, he was upset that she was nice to Shannon Sharp. And I don't know. I'm about to get off of this one. We're going to have to see how this play out. Yeah, we're going to have to see how this one play out. But for anybody that doesn't see it, there's definitely a lot going on with this woman's allegation. It's 42 pages. I'm at like 15, and I am through because I can't take too much more of the hearsay. Here's the thing. If Skip Bayless offered you $1.5 million, that's its own thing. If the environment at Fox was sleeping your way to the top, that's its own thing. I don't really. It's a civil suit, right? So I don't know, man. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on with that one. We'll see what happens. I don't know what did or didn't happen, but it just seems interesting that they keep bringing up Shannon Sharp, like Skip Bayless was jealous of Shannon Sharp, and I know Skip Bayless was jealous of Shannon Sharp. So that kind of sounds like a conversation that would be had, but if you have that kind of conversation with your haircut client and you're not comfortable with that, if you're doing all this haircutting and you're real good at what you're doing, I would just think, the easy way to do that would be to get up out of there. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. The easy way. That's just me. But just for the ones that want to take a look, if you don't know who Miss Faraji is, I will give her to you here. Hold on a second. I got a pretty good side-by-side for those that were actually interested in a full-blown pickup. Okay? So, there you go. That's her. That's Miss Faraji. She's a Persian and something mix, and she is apparently the best hairstylist that ever existed. And because of that, she should have been allowed to continue her job at Fox Sports 1, cutting hair. So for all the haircut, all the barbers, stylists, everybody out there, if you're getting groped while you're getting haircuts or giving haircuts and stuff like that, you might want to just find another client. I don't know. Not trying to be heartless. Okay? So give me a second here. Hold on. I got to switch gears because that thing burned my brain a little bit. So in the world of weirdness, we have a little weirdness for you today because somebody told me that I don't know fashion. So I was like, okay, I don't know fashion. And they sent me some fashion. And I just wanted you guys to see the fashion because I thought I might have missed something. But there was a Balenciaga fashion wear situation that went down. And there was a couple outfits in here that looked just really creepy to me. And I'm just wondering, am I missing something? Or are we all supposed to look like the Gimp from Pulp Fiction in the future? I don't know. Y'all check it out. Can't play that music. What the hell is that? Well, they got this creepy ass music playing too. I did see an Adidas sweatsuit. That I'd wear that. Got some, you know. That doesn't look comfortable. Is that a man? That might have been a man. I don't know. Turn that off. You know how YouTube be. I don't know whose song that is. They'll be coming claiming a content ID for some whack ass song. I don't even know what that is. What the hell is that? Did y'all see that? Let me run it back for you. Just one more time. I think these are women, but I'm not sure. This one I think is a dude. That's a dude. That was a man's walk, wasn't it? That's a guy. But what's with the face coverings? Is this a new thing I'm missing with the face coverings? Maybe I'm missing the face coverings. I don't know. Am I missing it? Yeah, I'm missing it. All right, so I'm not fashionable. Okay, well, thank you. Yeah, I'm not fashionable. It is what it is. I'm not into it. But speaking of being into stuff, I mean, like I said, if you want to wear some stuff like that got you looking like you from the damn movie The Cell, then, hey, all power to you. But I don't think that that's fashion. They keep telling me that I just don't know fashion, but I don't know. I had to bring it to some folks, and maybe y'all knew something I didn't know, but I don't see anybody saying anything. So now, as I continue, make sure we get them likes up. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you jump on here. I'm only giving y'all a few minutes today, but now we're about to get to our main vein, as they would call it, because we were talking about Elon Musk last night, and Elon had kind of an issue on X where people were upset about him saying that everyone needed to be nicer. But today I woke up to people being more upset about his political commentary because he started talking about this grooming gang from some, I guess the British people. And then he puts up a post a few hours ago that says America should liberate the people of Britain from their tyrannical government. So when you say America should liberate, that sounds like war. That sounds like you're saying somebody needs to come over there and gut something and liberate it. You see what I'm saying? So here's where the thing is. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was on the podcast talking about what he was doing with that House bill to fund the government and the fact that he was able to put out so much information so quickly. He goes from talking about everybody needs to be nicer to literally smearing this dude for whatever it is that he did with some children. Now, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but what I am saying is exactly what Allison Warner, shouts to you, stop it in the chat, just said, is I kind of think Elon needs to fall back on the politics because maybe he's better at making rockets and Tesla cars and coming up with innovative ideas over there than being super involved in U.S. and the U.K. and Britain in their politics. Because in here, I'm seeing the comments, and this is on X. This is his forum. And the people are going in on him saying, bro, stay in your lane. How about that? How about you go back to shooting off rockets and figuring out how the hell you and the billionaires are going to move to the moon and Mars, and how you're going to put internet around the entire globe where you can hit it from the new Tesla phone. Like, I'm with all that. Do the innovative stuff. But He's speaking on the UK. He's also speaking on the US. He's also on X every 30 damn minutes putting a post up over here. And maybe Grok is helping him come up with it, but he's putting this stuff up. And if you come onto a forum like that you own, Elon can pin a message to X. See, I can pin a message to my page, right? I can pin a message to the top of my page, whereas if you come to my page, you will see that message. That's the best I can do. Elon can pin a message to X. Everybody gonna see it. So when he does put these things up, it's not without knowing that 1 million or 2 people are gonna see it in 10 minutes. And I think that in and of itself is almost unfair, because you can use that to the good, but you can also use that to the bad. And if somebody pays you to use it to whatever direction, now we're back to the same bullshit we started with. Just Elon Musk is getting paid for it instead of CNN. You see what I'm saying? It's the same problem, just with a different face on it. Just like when he changed Twitter, turned it to X, it's the same site, just with a different logo. But now that he took it over, and I'm all about free speech, y'all know that. Y'all know that I'm all about free speech, but I don't feel that certain people's speech should be able to like overshadow everybody else. Elon owns X, but his algorithm puts his stuff in front of everybody. He's always trending on his own platform. So whatever he says, everybody going to see it. If I say something, only a few people are going to see that because I'm not able to pin things to X. So it's dangerous. It's very dangerous. And I initially saw that when I saw it happen with the House bill, and I was like, it's a dangerous slippery slope. But I did appreciate the transparency of letting, the American public know that there was all that extra stuff in that bill. I appreciated that transparency. I did. And I spoke to that when that happened. But as I'm seeing now, if you've got a crazy billionaire who thinks he's a politician, hold on, we got Trump. All right. Well, if you got billionaires playing politicians, then you're going to get billionaires doing billionaire shit, which is what Elon's doing. I don't have a forum where I can put up a post and 2 million people see it in less than 10 minutes. It's not possible. I don't have that kind of reach. He has too much reach into technology to be siding with anything in politics. He's going to have to learn to be transparent or stay the hell out of politics. There's no question about who he's voting for. There's no question about how he feels. So he will push that narrative on X if that's how he feels. The fortunate thing about X, is I will say, is people can come in and comment on Elon stuff. So at least he leaves the comments open so that I, as the objective thinker, and you guys as the objective thinkers, when you go on there, you can see that other people are like, Elon's on some bullshit. See what I'm saying? So I appreciate that to a degree, that at least he's not censoring that yet. But didn't he say he wanted everybody to be nicer? Okay. So I'm gonna scroll through this. But right here, he's got the votes coming through here. And this was in 2 hours. He had a bunch of people talking about liberating Britain from the tyrannical government. Okay. Now, you're saying Britain has a tyrannical government. Hey, that's opinion. But when you start talking about America should liberate, you talk about me. I live here. You see what I'm saying? So when you start saying America should do something, remember, you talk about me. You think you just talk about Trump. You think you're just talking about the elites, but no, you're talking about me. So I don't want to liberate Britain. I don't know them like that. I don't want to have no parts of that. I don't want to have no parts of Canada, because we got more than enough shit going on here that's not fixed, that we don't need to be liberating nobody else. So him jumping on there, even saying that, to me is immature and stupid. And I know he's going to be mad because he told us that we have to be nicer. But if I'm making an observation of something being without intellect behind it, and I say that it's stupid, that's not being mean. That's just me saying that's what that is. You see that? That thing is that. You see a lion and you call it a lion, it's a damn lion. You see a snake, you call it a snake, it's a snake. You're not insulting the snake by calling it a snake. You're just identifying it. And that's the thing. Like, for me, I'm not an educated politician or anything like that. I'm just a citizen that pays taxes. And so I do watch politics, especially on the local level. I pay a little bit more attention there. But I just think it's an unfair movement that Elon's doing right now, because what he's doing is he's positioning himself for whoever has the highest amount of money to now come and just pay him to do what he's been doing. Now, granted, it says 60% of people surveyed said that Musk should not become influential in British politics. Now, first of all, he's already influential because he runs the forum that everybody's on that's getting this information. And everybody's not on X, but if we boycotted X, like, how are you going to do that? I would love to hear how that would happen, because we're not unified on shit else. So nobody's going to boycott X either. And it sounds amazing, though. It would be a great idea. The result would be what we're looking for, but the action is impossible. Just like the Walmart boycott we talked about last night. That sounds great. Sounds like you might do something, but how are you going to do that? People got to buy food, and there's Walmart's right there. I'm not going to drive extra 10 miles to go to something else when Walmart's right there. That doesn't mean I don't agree with you. That means I got to get my food. So Elon's already in. He's in knuckles deep, as they say. His fingers are all in it, and it's basically at this point what he's trying to say is these are his opinions, and he's doing his own thing. So we need to stop looking at him as someone who has any influence. He's just a person that has reach. There's a difference. That means when he says stuff, more people see it. But that doesn't mean that we as people cannot look at it and call bullshit. And if he's putting up a lot of stuff, we have a lot of opportunities to call bullshit. Okay? So I'm not saying that he should stay in politics, because it's getting out of hand. This whole, I don't know what's going on with the groomer gang and all that, but I hate when they bring up shit and it be something that happened a long time ago. And it's like, y'all all knew about it all this time, and you want everybody else to just be mad about it now because you now want to get back at somebody. But it's been going on. It's like a known thing, like the Diddy thing. Went on for 20-something years, and now everybody's supposed to be upset about it. Did nobody care for 20 years? So shut up. We got bigger fish to fry. I hate to say it that way. But anyway, so I think Elon is trying to utilize his position to get somebody to pay him to do it. That's what I think. But yeah, they're talking about he's going full Putin. But like I said, the beauty of X in this regard is he didn't cut off the comments. So everybody's able to talk their trash or express their dissatisfaction back to him, which I'm seeing pretty much everybody saying, hey, after everything you've accomplished, why are you working so hard to ruin your legacy with these outrageous and indefensible takes? So America should mind their own business. Well, I've been saying that because we got business to mind. So I think if we got to that, that'd be cool. And we just started minding our own business and like took care of the people here, took care of our soldiers here so that they're not losing their minds when their wives divorce them and go and try to harm themselves in front of Trump International. Like that's how weak our country has become. That our biggest terror threat is a man going through a divorce. And that's who we're supposed to be worried about. Something that happens all the time, every day over here. We've got to be worried about depressed men who are going through divorce issues. So maybe we need to deal with how people handle divorce. Maybe we should start working on that family court type of stuff. Like maybe if that's the problem, if that's what's triggering people to go get, converted over to these other terrorist organizations. I know I'm going to get in trouble for using that word because they don't like that word, but that's what they're talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So let's just hypothetically say that one organization that is a negative organization gets their talons up into Elon and he starts pushing information across this board that is negative in what its result will be. Then it's still up to us to sift through the bullshit. And that's what I want people to understand. They're very upset about Elon in politics. And so I want to say, first of all, number one, I do think that he should fall back on the whole politics, like trying to be that involved. You're next to the president, you're next to the prime minister, you all over the place. You know what'll happen? Somebody will put you in their crosshairs, and you might end up not as lucky as Trump was in Baker, Pennsylvania. If that, you know what I'm saying? He's human too. And you know how it is. If they want to touch you, they can touch you. They can touch you. So I think he needs to just chill out. I'm not saying that if he sees information about, let's say, like, if he sees some corruption information or something like that, I would love for him to put that out there. I would love to hear about that. But if you're really just throwing out opinion, that's dangerous, because some people think Elon Musk knows everything because he's a very smart guy. And a lot of people assume that this person that's really good at something, like especially technical stuff like robotics and all that kind of stuff, then they just assume that, if they grasp that concept, they can grasp any concept. And then if they grasp any concept, then they must know politics now. But Elon Musk isn't a politician. I don't even know if he took a course in like law or anything. You know what I'm saying? So he's just expressing his opinion, but his opinion has too much damn reach. And that's my issue. It's like, can I get a post out? Like, you running the whole damn news cycle on X basically because you own it. And it doesn't mean that you shouldn't have the right to post and put up information. But why does that have to be the first thing I see every time I get on X? Even if I wasn't just looking at that. That's not fair to me. I might want to have a different conversation. And nobody gets to see our stuff. They get to see Elon's stuff. And he makes sure of it. It's like he can tag the whole app. I can tag my friends. I can put a hashtag in there and hope that somebody's searching for it. But he can tag the whole damn app. So that's a dangerous place of power. And with much power comes much responsibility. Y'all know that phrasing. So Elon just needs to be careful how far into that lane he goes. He's entitled to his opinion. He is, because everybody on social media has an opinion now. Everybody's on the right. Everybody's on the left. Everybody's for this rights and these rights and migration and immigration and deportation and all the Asians, right? So you're entitled to that. But he has an unfair advantage. He, as a person, has an unfair advantage. See, when you look at Facebook, it's not like Mark Zuckerberg is posting on everybody's Facebook every day or Instagram. You see what I'm saying? He's not on your Instagram feed every day pushing a political view. He's not on your Facebook every day pushing a political view, because he could tag the whole damn app. But he's not doing that. It's not like the Xing Yang Shang Shang guy from TikTok is on TikTok every day putting up a post and tagging the whole app so everybody's seeing it. So I just think Elon's entitled to his political views, but I think he needs to stop cheating. Stop cheating. You cheat. Because now you've made it so everybody's got to pay for the damn service to get the little blue tick in order to respond to things. That was a setup. It was, all this stuff was free before. You said it was going to remain free, and then all of a sudden it became, you pay this for verification, and you'll get more reach if you verify. Guess what? My reach did not increase when I verified at all. It was still just naturally kind of building slowly like it would do. So if you want to check me out on X, it's Papa Purge on X. If you want to go check that out, and it's mostly clips from this show and a couple of interesting little quips that I might throw on there, but Elon it's like he's got the home field advantage on that. And that home field advantage is its own thing. Now, I've heard about Blue Sky, but then when I go look up Blue Sky, it's like the opposite of X, which is a whole bunch of the opposite of X. And the opposite of X is not necessarily what I'm asking for, because the opposite of X is just somebody who feels as strongly about stuff, but on the other side, which is too much of the other shit. Because honestly, most of it is fluff, and whoever's just, if you angry about something, you're going to make your points. But for those of us that can look through and really pull information, we'll be able to pull information from both sides. And so I understand Blue Sky is its own. It's not Elon filled. I'll give it that. Elon doesn't run Blue Sky, but Blue Sky is its own echo chamber on another side. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's called Blue Sky. People make the statement on purpose. You know, like if you call something black people meat, then there's going to be black people on there. So Blue Sky had to do with the blue, which was the Democrats. So they're telling you what the root is. Now you will get more information than Elon. I'll say that because Elon takes over the information, but it doesn't mean that that's a non-biased app or a platform either. So you got to watch that kind of stuff. Everything has an algorithm, and everything that has an algorithm can be paid for. Somebody can pay for SEO implementation. They can pay for Google ads so that Google shows their stuff more and more. It's all for sale. Because views are the money. Views, watch time, all that, because it's all about advertising. That's what YouTube is about. The longer I stay on here, the longer y'all stay on here, the more YouTube can show ads, and the more they can make their money from the advertisers that paid for it. That's it. And they just use my time to do it. So Elon is doing the same thing. I'm sure his page is fully monetized. It's like he's making money both ways. He's making money from the people paying for it. He's making money from the fact that his page is getting the most views of anything on X by far because he basically pins the whole app. And then we come through with oh yeah, Allison, thanks for the comment as well. With Blue Sky, because that was who Blue Sky was started by. It was started for that reason, to get away from X, which was a red-sided echo chamber. So that's why they did Blue Sky, because you couldn't get that kind of information on X. It was not flowing through, and that's not fair either. So I agree that people should have the ability to get their information out and their opinions out, and allow people to speak to them like I do. That's why I come on here. I have my own opinions about Elon. Somebody else will say, hey, Elon needs to stay in politics. Hey, Elon's the greatest thing that happened to politics. Somebody might feel like that, and that's fine too. That's why we live here. We all live here. So if Elon decides to get into politics, I just don't want him to mess it up. That's what I'm saying. At this point right now, he's just talking too damn much, but he ain't really done nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, he hasn't really done anything. He hasn't really created or broken anything. So right now, he's just yapping too damn much, you know? And we need to come out there like Suge Knight did at the what was that, the BET Awards. Like, if you don't want your producer all up in the video and all up in the songs, that's how I feel about Elon. We don't really need you all up in everything, bro. We need you all up in them rockets and finding a way to make Teslas cheaper. And maybe help out with coming up with a way to put more safety features on the existing vehicles to help with automation so that we can get into that. Because that seems like a much better job for Elon. Go do what you've been doing. You were good at that. Nobody was upset. I mean, other than the people that were working at Tesla not getting paid enough, but nobody was upset when you were just the Tesla guy. I'm sure he had some enemies, but I'm saying, like, in a grand sense, you weren't in front of everybody like you become when you start fucking with politics. Excuse my language. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll put it like this. Elon Musk may be mentioning certain things, but there are plenty of issues that he's not bringing to Front Street. These issues that he brings to Front Street do seem to have an underlying scent of profitability for him. So being in certain parts of the government and trying to reserve certain bills and fundings helps him as a government contractor and getting government subsidies. So now I'm going to be honest. I'm not into British politics, so I don't know about the stories with the young girls and the grooming gang and all of that kind of stuff. And if that bodes to be true, then it follows the same mantra as everything else. Everybody knew it for years and didn't do anything about it. So I'm quick to get over the exposure and start to focus on why didn't y'all say nothing about it if that's what's really going on. Not to say that's not what's really going on. I'm saying if that's what's going on, why the hell aren't you saying anything about it? Why are we allowed to stay silent on things that have to do with the children? It's like whenever you speak up about something that has to do with kids, it's either like you would think it would be easy. Like if somebody says, hey, I don't want grown ass men in the bathroom with my granddaughter who's, 4 years old. Like I don't want to have to tell that guy not to go in there. I'd rather him just go in the men's room. But if today he decides he wants to be a woman, I'm supposed to like be okay with that. No. Mm-mm. I don't care who he identifies as. That's not happening. You know why? Because that's where I come from. So we don't have to even go into those debates. If that's not what's happening, why are we bringing all of that to the... Elon need to stay where he need to stay. We don't need to be having bathroom debates. We need to be making sure that people are getting a damn education and not be worried about the bathroom in the building. But to the same degree, why would you want a guy in the bathroom with the little girl? Like even if you're like, well, that doesn't happen, but why would you even want it to be allowed? Like even if it didn't happen up until now, and you're like, well, that's never happened before. Why would you want it to be then allowed? Because I guarantee if you allow it, then it will fucking happen. Just like with these guys that end up in the women's prisons. Once you put them in there, what happens? Next thing you know, all the women start popping up pregnant. But he was supposed to be a woman when he went in. Yeah, okay. Bullshit. I smelled it. I called it. So for Elon's situation, I know he's not bringing up those other issues that I think as a regular person should really be addressed. He's really more or less doing things that have more of a budget connected to it. And that feeds him. And I see that. And I'm not mad at him per se, but he ain't fooling me. You know what I'm saying? He ain't fooling me, bro. And that's, like I said, there's no disrespect to the bathroom thing. No disrespect to the bathroom thing. But I just think that's a stupid conversation. We got plenty of room in the men's room. Plenty of urinals over there. You ever been to an event like a football game and the men's room line is normally shorter than the women's room line? So we got plenty of space over the men's room. So you don't have to go over there. Come on over here. We won't say nothing. We won't bother you about your dress that you're wearing. We'll just say, all right, at least you're keeping it real. And we'll let you do what you got to do. Ain't going to be no violence. They want us to think that, men are going to be in there beating up other men because they came in the bathroom with a dress on? That's dumb as shit. First of all, I don't have that kind of time. I'm just here to pee. You understand what I'm saying? But they want you to believe that that's what happens if a man who feels like he wants to put the outfit on comes into a men's room. So if you think men are like that, then why the hell would you want them going in the women's room? See how dumb that sounds? God, they kill me with that shit. And make sure y'all get the likes up too, man. We don't even need to be wasting time with that conversation. There's plenty of room in each bathroom. Just everybody do what the hell y'all been doing. We don't have to change that for life to be okay. I've never seen this violence that they've been talking about that goes on when people go into the men's room and they're dressed as women. That would assume like if an actual biological woman went into a men's room that the men in there are just animals and they're just going to beat her up and R-word her. No, that's not going to happen. Most times they'll be like, ma'am, here's the stall over here. I see you must have been trying to get out the ladies' room line. And they'll make sure ain't nobody in there trying to do nothing goofy too. And they'll be protective in the same regard. So if they would be protective in that situation, why would they not be protective of, for me personally, I have grandchildren. My children are grown-ups and I don't want no full-blown dude in there with my daughter in her 20s. So I definitely don't want that going on with the younger ages. So I get it. If that guy over there was into some grooming gang stuff, he shouldn't be in politics, and Elon is very upset about it. But Elon, where the hell were you when it was going on if it's already been going on? You're late. Mr. Rocket Man, you're late. And now you want everybody to be upset about it and that. No, man. Just tell them about the politics and tell me about the next damn rocket that you're going to have come down and catching the thing. Man, that shit was slick. I saw it. Work on that. You said your piece about how you felt about that guy, but don't send it every 30 minutes. Don't pin it to X. Don't put it in my face all day. I wanted to see some hilarious stuff. I wanted to see, the funny clips, but I got to go through 6 Elon is mad about this clips before I get to the shit I'm actually trying to see. And I don't want to unfollow Elon because he does from time to time. He'll put some cool robotic stuff on his thing. some new invention or whatever that they're working on. That stuff I do want to see. But I don't want to see him talking to, showing a bunch of images of people that were, R-worded. And it seems like if it was going on, you should have been took care of it. That's all I'm saying. And for some reason, when I say that, people get mad, like, you're victim blaming because they were so scared. And okay, all right, well, the victims, yes. But when you're talking about like a whole government entity, like there's a whole thing going on, like nobody was going to say nothing, not the janitor that walked in on some goofy shit, nobody. Everybody's that broke that they have to keep their job, even though they're watching and viewing things that they know they don't want to see. Somebody always leaks it. Every time. So Elon has now decided that he's going to jump into politics. We got Andrew Tate running for the Prime Minister of the UK. We got Elon Musk all up in British and American politics. Donald Trump has been elected the president. Can anybody tell me where in the Matrix this shit is? Where in the Matrix is that? Because that's where we are. Right now, that's all going on simultaneously. You don't believe me? Check out the internet. Yes, Andrew Tate is running for the prime minister. Elon Musk is beefing with Britain. And Macron is beefing with Elon as well in Germany. So he's like the villain right now. So he needs to just chill out. And see, the other thing about it is sometimes you become the villain because you're exposing things. So it could be that too. But we don't really know yet. You got to bring real hard evidence out. Pause. You got to bring us some video, like the Cassie video with Diddy. If you didn't believe it before then, you were like, oh, once you saw that. Elon has access to all the digital stuff he needs. If you want to tell us about these girls and all the stuff that's going on, then you put it out the right way and just put it out that way. But don't continuously talk shit all day about the same person over and over and over and over again and pin it through X so everybody has to see that all day. That, to a degree, is a bit of interference because you're interfering with the algorithm of the person that's just there to be entertained by, some puppy dogs with Chucky outfits on. You know what I'm saying? And you throwing this in there. Sorry, I had to take a minute, man, because I really think about it, and I'm worried that even though I saw there was a change in independent media getting a little bit more view, when they decide they don't want us to get that, we just don't. Elon and them still have that power. So it's nice of them to have said that, hey, we want to open up the First Amendment and let everybody get their pieces out and say what they got to say. And Yeah, I don't really think that's what happened. I don't think that's what happened. I don't. I think he said that, sounded good, shit smelled funny. And now we're looking at it. Because I don't have that kind of time, man. I don't. Politics is one thing, but I don't have that kind of time. I don't. To just be worrying about the UK government and the US government and German government. Why does he care about all these governments? Because the dude got money in all these governments. So it's all self-serving. And I'm not mad at that. I just want to make sure that everybody identifies these things to say he's not doing any of this for any of y'all. It has nothing to do with us. It has to do with him and what he's working on in his life. And we're just freaking passengers on this thing. So yes, he should stay out of politics. Will he? Nope. Not until somebody sues him, and they can't. They couldn't sue him when he was giving out $1 million checks during the Trump campaign. They couldn't sue him when he put that stuff out around Christmas about the House bill that was funding the government in America. They can't do nothing about what he's doing. Free speech, First Amendment. So he is protecting it, and he's showing you how protected it is by taking shits all over the internet and making sure everybody sees it. You know what? I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad. Dude, I got to give it up for him. I really do. Everybody, let's give it up for Elon Musk. He pulled a fast one. He's amazing at the fast puller. He did that. He did that. He did that. Elon, that's for you. Elon, that is for you, buddy, because we see what you're doing. Can't stop you. How am I going to stop him on X other than just not being on X? And my little ass not being on X don't stop shit. That's why you got to stay on X. It's the same thing with that boycott thing I was talking about. It don't stop nothing. If I stop X, most people ain't going to stop X. all of the folks on the right are definitely not going to stop using X. You see what I'm saying? So it's going nowhere. Stay over there so you can see the information, see what everybody's talking about. That's why you want these things to be there. It does add to the transparency. I can see Elon don't like to stay in his lane. I can see that. I can see that. And I can see why he might not want to, because every one of those governments has the ties to the money that the subsidies he uses pay him. So there you go. That's why he's doing that. He's not into politics, but politics is into him. That's where his money comes from. So yeah, he's not trying to be a politician. That's why he's not running for no office. But he will try to skew things in a certain direction that will benefit him. Wouldn't you do the same? Wouldn't you do the same? I sure as hell would. I ain't even mad at him. I'm a little annoyed by him, but I'm not mad at him. I'm annoyed because it keeps coming down my feed over and over and over again. And I'm like, I don't even care about Germany right now. Like, but I'm not mad at him. I see what he's doing. It's transparent. It's right out in front of me. And if I feel so inclined, I can go on X and tell Elon, you doing some goofy shit. And he lets the comments go. So he's not even doing the thing where he takes the comments out. He'll let you say to him, hey, don't like that. I got to respect it. To a degree. To a degree. Okay? But I'm going to tell you what's going to happen next? Elon Musk is going to start trying to help Andrew Tate promote his campaign to be prime minister. And then we're going to start seeing Tate stuff all over X. Now, Tate can be entertaining, but you can't take but so much of it because he goes crazy. He be wilding out because he doesn't care. He says what he wants to say, and that's going to offend people. So he's worse than Trump as far as just being like off the cuff and saying whatever he wants to say. Yeah, Andrew Tate is dangerously honest about stuff. So yeah, there's no way they're going to elect him. But it'll be fun to watch the campaign and see what he says, like in a debate. That would be awesome. That would be content for days. I would love to see Andrew Tate in some type of political debate for office. That would be awesome. He'd be like, do you have a Bugatti? You don't have a Bugatti. Like, he would literally start telling them that they ain't at his level, even though they technically are. So that would be fun. I look forward to that. I look forward to that one. But lastly, because I got to get ready to get out of here. I got some shit to do today. But thanking y'all for coming through. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure you do your thing in the chat. We're just having conversations here. Just purging a little BS. Just purging a little BS today. All right? And for everybody that's like brand new to the channel, make sure that you're getting the opportunity to share. If you want to send a super chat, at some point I'm going to have to only be able to read the super chats because I can't keep up with y'all. Y'all so fast in the chat. So I'm going to have to filter that somewhere. But in the interim, I'm hoping that y'all are at least paying attention to the fact that even though Elon Musk is at the top of the food chain, the regular people like us don't mind taking a few bites out of it. And he doesn't seem to mind letting us do it. So, should he be part of politics? No. But is he entitled to his opinion? Yes. And should he be running it all through X and pinning it to the damn app so everybody in the whole world has to see it all the time? Probably not, but he has the ability to do so. So, it's his house, technically. He's going to do what the hell he wants in his house. So, we can't be mad about that. All we can do, for those that don't like what he's saying, is either disprove the shit or get the people he's talking about, if it's not true, to get him to cease and desist. Other than that, he's doing exactly what any of us would have done in the same situation if we had a strong opinion about something and wanted to get it out and had that kind of reach. Thanks for jumping into the chat, Ryan Coffey. Thanks for the subscription, too, as well. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to get out of here because I know Elon watches everything that comes through that forum. And I already got in trouble on X for talking about Elon. So now I'm going to talk about Elon because I don't care. Apparently, he doesn't mind if I do it. He just lets you know that he see it, if that makes sense. He's like, yeah, I know that you know that I can see it. It's one of those kind of things. So whenever he feels like pulling the rug, he will. But until then, I'm gonna talk my shit. Because for me, if I don't talk my shit and I hold it all in and just let it bottle up, I might explode. I might explode. I might get a Cybertruck. I'm just playing. That's how I get in trouble on YouTube, just with jokes like that. You see how sensitive the damn algorithm is? But y'all ain't sensitive. Everybody that tuned into my show, y'all ain't sensitive. Y'all see what's really going on. Y'all understand what's going on. And you understand that once you identify what's going on, you must purge the bullshit.